I don't think anyone can deny that these LED tube lights are here to stay, and these Ape Labs neons are by far my favorite Ape Labs products that I've tested, and some of my favorite lights in my entire inventory. Let's talk about it. What's up everybody, welcome to the Phase Reviews YouTube channel. My name is Jordan, I've been a DJ for around 15 years. If you're new here, thank you for joining me, and if you're a subscriber, welcome back as always. In this video, I'm going to be giving you an up-close look at the Ape Labs neons. I have 6 of them in their tour box right here, big hefty Pelican case with built-in charging. You'll get to hear about all that. Important specs and features that I like, what makes these unique and what makes them a great option for your inventory, and you'll get gig footage, of course, see how they perform in action, and my final thoughts on whether or not I think they're worth adding to your inventory. Before I dive into that, which we're going to do right now, just make sure that you like the video. If you enjoy the content you see today, that you leave a comment with your thoughts on these lights or your favorite tube lighting, and that you subscribe and ring the notification bell so that you don't miss any content coming in the future. Feed the algorithm, it helps me, I really appreciate it. But let's talk about the Ape Labs neon. So these are a 1 meter bar, RGB AW, amber white. If you are doing weddings or any sort of luxury event, you need the amber white. You get this beautiful, warm, candlelight amber color like you're seeing right here on the lights right now. These have a 180-degree beam angle, so you can see on the back, no lights right there, but they do spread out quite wide, and I would say that these LEDs are bright enough to be used as a wash light for a small to medium-sized dance floor. This doesn't replace a traditional par light or like a Wash FX or something with a really broad beam, but I use these in a scenario at a small school dance you'll see in just a bit, and these were the primary floor wash, and they were plenty. So there's a lot of good output here. Watts does not equal output, but I do think that the lux data, which they have on their site, backs up their brightness. Now, these are IP65 rated, so you can use these in any environment, outdoors, inside, dust, light, rain, moisture, whatever. These are going to stand up to that. They're going to be resistant to the weather. You're not going to have to scramble to take these down if there is some change in the weather. Okay. Now they have a built-in battery. You can see completely isolated here. 15 hours battery life max, depending on brightness settings and things like that. These are part of the whole Ape Labs ecosystem, meaning that they integrate with all the different accessories like the Ape Remote and the Ape Labs Connect, which we're going to talk about a little bit more in just a second. These are really versatile as far as their mounting. So one of the reasons that I like these is they come with these awesome, really heavy-duty, strong magnets. I took these to this gig that you're going to see in a minute. They had an outdoor pavilion with metal poles. I put these suckers on that, and they were actually really difficult to take off because the magnets are so strong. So you could put these overhead, you could put these vertically. I would have no concerns about these falling onto a crowd with the magnets. But they also have some safety loops here if you want to hang these from trussing. There is a metric mounting point right here. There's also stands for the lights. So the ones behind me, there are some collapsible tripod stands that are made of metal with rubber feet on the bottom. These are very high quality. It's almost like a camera thread mount right here. It actually may be the same size as that, and that just twists into the bottom of the light so that you can mount these vertically. You could use them with gravity stands or any other sort of vertical lighting stand to get the tiered effect that we see on so many DJs' Instagrams. Now, Ape Labs, I've said this phrase many times and I'll keep saying it, they are the Apple of the lighting world. They are beautifully made, designed, engineered, produced in Germany, and so they come to you in a very beautiful package, and they look great at your events, and they're meant to be relatively hands-off. Like, you set these up and you go. You can get nitty-gritty with the DMX, but you don't have to. So if you're someone that's like, I want good-looking lighting, but I don't want to have to program things, you absolutely can do that. The neons are part of the new 2+ series that Ape Labs is doing, which doesn't change a lot as far as the hardware, but there is software built in that these can have firmware updates. They can integrate, I think, with some AI features in the future. So these are able to grow as the software becomes more advanced. So that's really cool to see. All of the new Ape Labs lights are going to have this 2+, I think, part of them. And so we should see some cool features in the future with that. I am not sure when that's going to come out, but something to look for. Now, if you don't want to control these with DMX, the Ape Remote, which I've talked about in previous videos, is the nicest thing ever. This gives you access over built-in color macros, brightness, nice, turning the light on and off, accessing the music mode, which they're very famous for. So I can, like right now, turn these on and off. 200-foot range with this little remote, which is excellent. We can cycle through some colors here. So let me, just cycle through these. What's nice about the Ape Labs colors, and I've said this before, is that these were designed by DJs, like with DJs in mind. So if you're doing weddings and things, it's not all neons and bright, gaudy colors. We got like mint greens and hot pinks and pastel hues of things, as well as your standard colors. Now we also can hold this down and go over to like a color fade mode, and on the remote I can adjust like how quickly this fades through the colors. So I'll just speed it up here. So now it's doing like a fast fade. You can control strobing and things like that. We also have the infamous music mode. So if I click this little thing, now they're gonna respond to clapping here, but music, and it's the best sound reactive mode on the market by far. It really adds a lot of ambiance. It uses individual microphones in the light, or you can sync them all to like the Connect box here and get a very cool dynamic light show. So I'm gonna take that back off here. We can just hold this down, go all the way back to our regular color, take the strobing off, and just like that, we've controlled them. You can also group the lights into individual groups and change settings for different lights, all from this remote. No DMX, super nice. Now, if you do want to get a little more nitty gritty, the Ape Labs Connect is this little box right here. This also has a built-in battery, 40 hours of battery life on one charge with this thing. And this serves as a DMX transmitter or a receiver. So you could use this to send signal out to the lights. You could also plug this into non-Ape Labs lights and receive signal to this. So it's a really versatile little thing. It has the same beautiful aesthetic as the rest of the stuff. You've got your 3-pin DMX in and out. You've got a charging port back here, a couple of removable antennas, and a power plug. And that's pretty much it. There's also some indicator lights on top that show you like where your battery's at, which groups of lights you're controlling, and what's connected. This has Bluetooth. It has like, Wi-Fi signal. It's very easy to use, and it integrates with the app from Ape Labs. So when we get to gig footage, you'll see the app overlaid, or maybe I'll just do it right now. You can control all of your color macros. You can do a color picker, like visually on there. You can download colors from other users, like DJs around the world, which is really neat. Grouping things is much easier than even using the remote on the app, which is nice. You can update the software, turn on flicker free mode. There's all sorts of things you can do. So if you want to get a little more flexibility versus just having this, or to use both, which I did at my gig, you absolutely can. And this extends your range. I had to write this down because this number is crazy. 3,900 feet. So I think that's more than half a mile with this guy. So insane. Let's talk about the tour box, which is how these lights come. So you're seeing 3 of them here. I have 3 more in this really large, hard Pelican road case, and I'll shoot some detail shots so you can see, but this has 4 very heavy duty locking latches. It has handles both on the long end and on the small end. It has rolling, big, thick, chunky rubber luggage style wheels. And so this thing is built to take massive abuse. Like I would stack a subwoofer on this and not even flinch. That's how heavy duty this case is. Inside there is a built-in multi-prong charging hub, so you can plug one cord into your wall. Tons of little filaments go out and plug into each light, and that's really the only detriment of this system compared to the other tour boxes from Ape Labs, is those ones you drop the light in its slot and it plugs in while you do it. This one, because of how the lights are laid out, you have to take the cable and like put it into the light. So maybe 20 extra seconds of boxing time to get these plugged into the charger, but the convenience of getting these all charged simultaneously is unmatched. The foam is all custom cut out for the lights. There's space for the Connect box on the inside. There's space for the remote, for all the little stands. It's really a great all-in-one system. You could show up to a gig with just this tour box and have all the dance floor wash effect lighting that you needed easily. So let's go to some gig footage. I'll overlay this small high school dance that we did. It was outdoors. Thankfully in southern Utah, it's still warm enough to do that. And when I walked in, they had this pavilion out in the courtyard of the school. It was not my event. I went with a friend, and it was the perfect location. 3 pillars on each side, perfect for the 6 lights that I had. I used the magnets. I stuck them right up on the wall, and that was the whole setup. No cables to run, no DMX, anything to set up other than to place the Connect box on the DJ booth. And it's battery powered, so I didn't even have to plug it in. So turned on the lights, I ran them at half brightness. That's how potent the output was. So even outdoors in this space, half brightness surrounding the dance floor was plenty. It was really cool to have a 360-degree light show. You know, I'm so used to when I was full-time DJing a few years back, like all your lights are right behind the DJ booth, they're shining straight out. this really envelops people in the lighting, and it added a whole, atmosphere to the event. Now, I was going between solid color fades with the remote, jumping to music mode. I was using the music mode from individual microphones in each light and also from the Connect box. All of this changes up the show a bit, and it added a lot of variety. I also, in the app on the Connect box, was able to trigger the strobe on big breakdowns or high energy points of the song. For slow dances, I could dial in soft, dim colors that weren't super hyperactive. It's really nice, and without touching a single DMX value, a fader, a pot, or anything like that. So ease of use, 10 out of 10. Brightness, functionality, 10 out of 10. No issues there. Ease of setup, like so easy. Overall, if you can't tell, I absolutely love these things. It's changed the way that I do lights. I'm still a hardcore light show movers addict at my core. But for the vast majority of events where you're showing up, the client is not booking you for a light show, they're booking you for your mixing, they're booking for your MC, they just want the DJ package. This is a really great way that you can up the value and the look of your system without a ton of work on your end. So hats off to Ape Labs for these things. They're extremely well made. They feel so much more robust than other tube lighting systems I've used in the past. They look excellent, and the tour box, just grabbing these all as a pack, is a really great option to go. So I'll include a link to this down in the description. You can go check it out there if you want. Huge shout out to Ape Labs for sending these over for review so I can show you guys them up close. If there's lights that you want to see on the channel in the future, please put them down in the comments. Let me know other things that you would be interested in. I've got stuff in the works for the rest of 2025 and going into 2026, and my goal is to just bring you up close looks at things and tell you specs, features, let you decide for yourself whether or not you think it's worth adding to your setup. So that's going to be it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.